And we have over 500 applications overall available for all of high levels. For over 10 years now, we've made apps for many other softwares. So like prior to this, we were making apps for ManyChat, and we've made apps for things like Zapier, WordPress.
Tell us more about your story, before you get into this tech world, what you were doing.
Designing handbags. High Level brings so much to the table. They do make it pretty simple. They do make it very capable of you to make money. Now, this means that you can do things a lot quicker, a lot faster. You don't have to use the native actions from High Level. You can just use these ones where you have a lot more customization, a lot more capability. You might not have to play by the rules that they're forcing to you on some of the default native actions on High Level.
One tool you don't love, but you still use.
I don't use any tools I don't love.
This looks like GoHighLevel is on steroids. Welcome, everyone. Today, we are joined by Rupert Samuel, CEO of LevelUp Marketplace. Rupert has over 10 years of experience as an app developer across different platforms. And today, he's here to share the experience with us. I guess we first met this year at LevelUp Summit in October and had a great conversation about LevelUp Marketplace. And now we are here continuing the same stuff. Rupert is one of the only 6 official GoHighLevel developers partners in the world and the first one based out in Europe. He works closely with GoHighLevel to build tools that helps move the marketplace forward. He also has a special gift for all the listeners today, so make sure you stay till the end. Rupert, welcome to the show, man. It's nice to see you again.
No problem at all. Thanks for letting me join. Very nice entrance.
Thank you. So Rupert, let's quickly start with, people, those who are hearing you for the first time, what is LevelUp Marketplace and what do you guys do?
LevelUp Marketplace is our brand of developers, ultimately. We have about 80 developers that are building applications and software to go on top of GoHighLevel. LevelUp Marketplace in a certain way is our main brand for everything that we do underneath of there. We have over 500 applications overall available for all of high levels. LevelUp Marketplace is a great way to go and find out information about all of those, and then all the people we work with and all the different brands that are kind of going on. It's our central hub.
Okay, great. It's combination of all the apps into one app.
So no, that's our main product, all the apps. All the apps is an app that you can install into your agency. So when people hear about us, they hear about us either through usually 2 brands. One will be either all the apps or the other is the LevelUp Marketplace. LevelUp Marketplace is the brand that owns multiple different products that we put across High Level. One of those major products, the main product that people know us for, is the all the apps app.
So all the apps is basically a primary product on the LevelUp Marketplace.
Yes, and we have other things. So people come to LevelUp Marketplace, they say, "Can you make my app for me?" And then we'll deploy that application, and you might be able to also have that available inside of our big app, all the apps.
All the apps. Oh, nice, interesting.
Make it very literal, but it's always been a little bit of a conversation about LevelUp Marketplace, all the apps. That was the thing.
Okay. You have 2 brands in one brand. So, your all the app is more popular than your marketplace in itself. Yeah.
It is in some sense that there is popularity on our product than there is actually the brand that made the product. So it's one of these kind of fun things we have to navigate ultimately.
Interesting. Makes sense. We all know, the software industry evolves very fast. What problem did you see that made you think, okay, someone needs to build these apps in the GoHighLevel ecosystem?
It's a business model that we've done. For over 10 years now, we've made apps for many other softwares. So prior to this, we were making apps for ManyChat, and we've made apps for things like Zapier, WordPress, apps, app stores on Google and Apple, and Adalo, and some other things I'm most probably not thinking of. Zapier, we've been involved in a lot of that, and just custom software, So, within the first year that GoHighLevel existed, we were being requested for another software that I was involved in back about 10 years ago now, almost it feels, to integrate that with High Level. And I bumped into Sean, and I showed Sean what we'd done for ManyChat. With about 50 or 60% of all the apps you could find in ManyChat were made through either by myself or with partnership with 1 or 2 people.
Oh, nice. Interesting.
And Sean was very interested about all of that kind of stuff, and he told me 5 years prior to the marketplace launching that it was going to be available. So we stuck around. We did high-level work for some agencies that we were working with, developing custom products and stuff like that. Didn't really say much on the public arena, I would say.
Okay, I see.
Predominantly down to like my experience with working with many different marketplaces and being involved in also marketplaces launching, not just being a participant of it, was that a lot of these other people maybe out there, I'm not going to put names out there, but they were launching things without a marketplace, and there were limitations, and it caused conflicts and all sorts of problems and all this. So we didn't want to put anything publicly out there and do any of that kind of situation with what we wanted to provide. Although leading into that, I knew the marketplace was coming. I had a certain level of knowledge of these things because we've done so many other marketplaces, and I was training our team back then. We had maybe less than 20 people back in the early days. We're just around 80 or something now, and the team knew what was going to happen. So literally the first day we got wind that we could start doing the actions and the part of those things. For us, not so much like we know there's a lot of problems. We've done a lot of marketplaces, we've done a lot of these kind of things, and we can identify loads and loads of problems, but we look at it really more as like a supply and demand situation in our office, because we've created integrations for people that haven't even asked for these integrations to be made, simply because we then build partnerships with those people. Like, for example, we've had many calls with software companies, valued into the hundreds and billions of dollars, trying to build that right connection with GoHighLevel. So we like to take the first step and then build these partnerships ultimately.
I mean, your past experience was actually the baseline for you to develop the apps into GoHighLevel Marketplace. I mean, you have been doing this from last 20 years, so you know where you're coming from, right?
Yeah, I would say the last 10 years. Prior to this, I was involved in retail and some other stuff. That kind of gave me like a mindset, product and business and logistics. And
tell us more about your story, before you get into this tech world, what you were doing.
Designing handbags.
Oh, really? Nice. Okay, that's good.
It was involved in a handful of retail stores up and down the southwest of the UK. I had about 20 or so over 5 years. In that time, also launched a wholesale business, supplied maybe about 500 stores up and down the UK. Also handled some fad items, like summer fads. Like, it's a funny, weird story, I guess, in some sense. But
I see, yeah. We
sold about 500 million rubber bands in about 100 days, basically.
Amazing.
Over like a summer toy, so a lot of import-export kind of situations. Online on e-commerce, online retail, all this kind of stuff, wholesale. Yeah, that was pretty much what I did.
So what gets you into this tech world then? I mean, getting from the retail to this tech founder.
When we started doing wholesale, we then started to launch. We wanted more of our customers to sell more of our product. So I made a bit of a template out of a Shopify situation and spoke to all of our wholesale clients, said, hey, why don't you just let us run a store for you, and we'll put products on and we'll basically drop ship it. So it's like an agency. It's like an agency that we wanted you to sell more. We want to spend your money so you would sell more, but the stuff you were selling was our stuff. Basically, we'll ship it for. But they're putting together the ad budget and the brand, and they're, they have their part of it, basically.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing this journey. Sounds interesting.
We got into that, and I just kind of realized, we needed all these apps for all of these e-com stores. Things back in those days, we're talking over 10 to 15 years, 20 years, I'm not sure now. MailChimp, everybody needed it. And, I just thought to myself, I deal with all these bloody problems with import, export, logistics of all of it, the delays, the time, the factoring. Like I used to fly to Italy every other week. I used to be in China every other quarter. This kind of stuff. And ultimately, when it comes to the software, it's very malleable and it's very distributable. And I just kind of fell in love with it in that sense, because I kind of had quite a lot of experience in, whatever.
I mean, have you officially studied the computer science world, or no? It was like you learned all by yourself.
I've taken some courses, yes, but I'm not like university educated into as the business though. Just to kind of go on that point, I hire much better people than myself around technical situations. But it's always been a situation for me of that ultimately I look at growing teams predominantly. So it's not based around what it is that I'm the best at. It's more me trying to put together all these teams and get a product out of what we're doing, basically.
Makes sense. What a story, yeah. Inspiring, to be honest, yeah. Coming from a non-tech world, getting into the tech world and, doing all this stuff. Coming back to the LevelUp Marketplace, I mean, you built this marketplace very specifically for agencies, or it was like normally reaching out to, all the user base into GoHighLevel ecosystem?
Well, the most interesting thing, like when GoHighLevel started with their marketplace and with like the ethos of GoHighLevel with the white label and the reselling and the rebilling and all of this kind of stuff, the marketplace was always made or destined or projected to be something where it's a rebillable, resellable situation, which, kind of comes back to like my experiences in the import-export wholesale situation, because, I look at this as like, we're going to manufacture a load of things that you can additionally sell through your GoHighLevel account, very similar to like how make the product and then sell them through the stores and everything.
Right.
We look at being competitive in that kind of scenario, ultimately. So GoHighLevel is a resellable, rebillable platform, white labelable, SaaS and all these kind of words kick up. And, we just want to be the developer partner leader that provides the most amount of these integrations. We make sure that we're hot on updating them with things that other people need and dealing with the support and all this kind of stuff. And, in the long term, more people will use these applications, the more people use them, the more revenue we make as a company. But ultimately, agencies, as soon as they're paying us something, they're also making something. So it's a very win-win situation for everybody. And, 99% of our applications are free to access and it's just pay for usage. That's our whole business model.
That's how the GoHighLevel, whole ecosystem works that way. Because I come from an HubSpot ecosystem, where the price is always been a war when you actually close a customer. But GoHighLevel actually changed the whole synergies here, where they are not charging on per installs, they are charging on the basis of the usage, which is an amazing thing. They disrupt the market. That's what I understand from my experience. I mean, you mentioned about your story, could you tell us when did you started this LevelUp Marketplace into GoHighLevel ecosystem? And I mean, how did your company looks in the beginning compared to what it is today?
I mean, let's just go back to when the marketplace started. Okay. So when the marketplace started, we were somewhere around 20 staff, I think, 2 and a bit something years later now, we're nearly at 80.
In which year?
Over about 2.5 years.
2.5. Oh, nice. Amazing. Okay.
So, the marketplace, never mind our growth and things, I think the marketplace is something worth kind of noting from GoHighLevel. We started maybe let's say when the marketplace launched, I think we covered about 80% of every integration application you could find on the marketplace, because when they launched the marketplace, we were at the GoHighLevel event telling people about the marketplace when they'd only launched it that day, and we were like, we've got apps. Well, so if we talk about the growth of that, just what we've done to the marketplace, within about, I think, 4 or 5, 6 months-ish kind of period, there was an event that we did, and, we noted that we had about 18,000 installations. That's how many apps have been installed into the amount of sub-accounts. That's about 5-6 months. A year later to that date, that's about March of this year, we did 1 million installations.
Amazing. Okay. That's a good number to hear.
Accounts that have had 1 million different app installs. And this comes down to 2 different things. One, we're making more apps, more things, more solutions, more all of this stuff. And the other side of it comes down to that there are more sub-accounts, more things that people are realizing that they can use the marketplace to actually start solving their problems. And, just coming from the LevelUp event where we're both at, over 50-something% now, just around, let's say nearly 60% of all sub-accounts have got apps installed in them. Okay?
Yes.
And the growth pattern of that ultimately defines what we're trying to ultimately be a part of with GoHighLevel, is that there's always going to be additional things that are going to be working with GoHighLevel, and we just want to be the market leader in providing as much as we can ultimately.
I mean, honestly, I've installed all the apps. It has a lot of functionality. You can enable, disable different apps into the ecosystem. Believe me or not, it saves a lot of money being on the agency side of the game, because you only pay when you use things up. You don't need to pay every time you install the app. Great. Let's go, jump on to all the apps. Help users understand what is it and how can GoHighLevel agencies can use it to increase revenue for themselves.
All the apps is something that is made for GoHighLevel agencies. Okay.
Yes.
So make sure, like, I said, we've got 500 other apps. These something, all these other apps I'm not talking about. There's hundreds of integrations and stuff. They're great for sub accounts and stuff, and they're great for the sub account users. They might be great for the agencies as well if they want to integrate with those things. But all the apps is made for a GoHighLevel agency. That's the one clear thing you want to make sure you understand. And all the apps is a super fast way for you to be able to launch these integrations. So you don't necessarily, it's not that I'm trying to say that you don't need the app marketplace once you use all the apps, but ultimately you can just streamline a lot of different things. And this just comes from like generating more revenue through things like the integrations and those additional applications where you don't have to do additional installations. We make it all really complicated. We've made it super simple, all the way up to just basic level supporting things that you need as a GoHighLevel agency. And I think these things are so essential and basic that, you can have a free version of all the apps, that you realize, and you can use one of everything pretty much. Things, which is great and everything, but we just do a lifetime deal. So it's like you buy access to all of this stuff that you're going to use in an agency. One or two things they're going to bill you for usage, not money, but like you just get access to like 1,000 documents on how to use GoHighLevel. It's all white label to give it to your clients. 60 to 100 different videos, quizzes, onboardings, launchpad quizzes, custom value forms, loads of stuff. And it's just all the things that you need as an agency to basically just be an agency, as I like to kind of put it.
Would you like to pull up your screen and show some kind of a demo to the audience if you have something ready?
Let me see what's on my screen. I was looking at all the new stuff, which is kind of funny as well. Coming out first week of the new year, we have our V3 of all the apps. So here's like the centralized dashboard. So this is all like V2 stuff. Like in like 2 or 3 weeks, all of this stuff changes. So it's going to be a fun thing. But this will be the last presentation I think I'll do of the V2 one. There is a fun big change on the V3. Anyway, so we have all of our dashboard tools. So once you install all the apps, you're going to have all the apps that'll appear here on the side. Just refresh your screen if you can't see it. But what you'll get is all of these different types of dashboards. These dashboards kind of like tell you about how your store's doing, how your onboards are going, if people are finishing their questionnaires, checklists, going through the banners, how they're doing with the knowledge base analytics, the media library, any type of feedback, your tickets, your app management, pretty much every kind of other analytic you're going to need to look at to be able to know how your agency is going. We then give you all of these education capabilities for you as an agency to then just learn how to be better as an agency or how to set up your GoHighLevel agency. You then get your app marketplace. This is where you can then launch all of these apps into your sub-accounts. Okay, and this is where you can then allow for all of these things to be available. You can then go ahead and use the customizer. This is where you can go ahead and design what your GoHighLevel to look like. You then have all of these agency tools, loads and loads of crazy different tools that agencies like to use here for God knows what. We then have all the onboarding types of tools where you can create your own onboarding capabilities to then show to your clients alongside with things like custom value forms. You then have all of your store management. This is where you can make upsells with things like snapshots and services. We then have all the capability to update the navigation capabilities of GoHighLevel with things like these buttons, for example. And you have all your support capabilities. So you've got all the knowledge base articles in here that you can then launch. You've got all of the media library that you can then launch into your accounts. You have a ticketing support system that you can then go ahead and receive tickets from clients as well. You then have all the management for all of your users, all of your locations, and all your snapshot management, which is a pretty fun one. This is where you can go ahead and basically build all the same onboarding capabilities for your snapshots, including like some fun whiteboards. Okay. And then we give you all our supporting capabilities, basically. And then like, what does this kind of like look like to the sub account? Well, like customizer is always something to show off. People like this.
Amazing. Okay. Change different themes.
How you want all the theme to look. You then go ahead and reorder how you want things to be. You can then get really micro with it, where you can go ahead and just say, I want to edit the name of this, or if you want to go ahead and drag and drop how big you want the image. You can get into it and go ahead and change the colors on stuff like that if you want to. So, this is like the theme customizer capability, basically. And then like in your sub account, you're then going to be able to launch this app store where people are going to be able to access all of these integrations that you basically make money from. And then from the support hub side, or like all the supporting side of it as like an agency where you're going to push all of these things like onboards. This is where you can put all these onboards, your questionnaires, things like your snapshot store, your services, you can go through your checklist, the media library, the knowledge base, change logs, FAQs, support ticket system, and then this new little ranking system that we're coming out with soon. But yeah, you get to have all like the chat widget stuff if you want that on. You can have feedback to hear how people are doing. You can add buttons here if you want to have buttons there. You can have buttons pop out from the side. You can pretty much do any of this stuff.
I mean, this looks like GoHighLevel is on steroids.
Well, we have made more apps honestly than pretty much anyone else out there, and our whole thing is just making it easy for you as an agency to go ahead and make those changes to your high-level account, support these things inside of your high-level account. Because honestly, like I talk to a lot of agencies, and like I was only at a conference yesterday, dealing with Mastermind in the UK, and I don't mean this like in a bad way, but honestly, so many people complicate selling high level or making revenue from high level, in my opinion. Like, I don't do the agency game. I don't sell it to restaurants or whoever it is. Like I do, I have a gym and a restaurant, but that's just a funny story.
Okay.
But it's not my business to go ahead and sell these things. But honestly, like I look at it as like, back again when I was doing my stores and everything, that I've got a supplier supplying me all of these different things. And honestly, we used to sell in our wholesale business, like, hats, scarves, socks, gloves, clothing, and bags, and fad items like rubber bands, which I'll get in. And not everybody bought everything from us. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, like, ultimately, we were trying to sell, we have the best range of scarves. So people were looking for scarves, would always come to us for scarves. And I think it's like the same thing of like saying, we can sell the best range of websites. Here's our price range for these kind of websites. And I just kind of like see it as something where, you have your star products of the month or the star products of the quarter or the time of season and all this kind of stuff. But I just see that so many people are just trying to, you don't need more than one supplier, ultimately. I'm not trying to say it's a bad idea. Like it is a bad idea sometimes to have just one person you depend on and all this kind of stuff. But ultimately, high level brings so much to the table. They do make it pretty simple. They do make it very capable of you to make money. See so many people trying to complicate things with so many extra things, and it's nothing that's found in the marketplace. That's always the funny thing that I find. Like whenever someone's using stuff from the marketplace, it's very streamlined because the marketplace is a part of high level where all that extra stuff that you want high level to maybe do specifically to your niche or to emphasize a particular output or an objective from a campaign, that's where that will roll into. But people trying to do all sorts of other crazy nonsense with stuff like NA10 and anything outside of high, it's just silly. Because like I was saying, a good year ago, listen to me, I promise you, high level's workflow builder will be like NA10 before you know it. And literally at this last year, that's the first thing they announced. They had a video, everybody had a standing ovation, and it's just the business of high levels into. If they see something that's working well, a digital product that agencies can go ahead and sell, or they can ultimately sell themselves ultimately, they're going to go ahead and do it. That's the whole ethos and the mission statement of high level. And people seem to make it so complicated when
100%. I think GoHighLevel has actually built up a lot of things into their platform. Now you're adding a value and putting GoHighLevel on steroids kind of stuff. That's what I can present it to the audience. But when it comes to the agency owners, if an agency could pick only 3 apps of all the apps, which one would you recommend them to install first?
Well, I'm going to say all the apps if you're an agency, because you can get
all the apps has lot of apps.
Yeah, all the
out
apps.
Of those, if they want to enable like initial 2 or 3 apps,
I would say there's 2 collections of apps that you should be aware of. One of those collections is called our tools. They are things where you don't need API keys. They are things where you don't need anything ultimately. One of them, which is I think is quite special and I think undervalued by quite a lot of the agencies and things that you could do. But do you ever heard of like nifty images or like dynamic images, where ultimately you can take an image of like say a birthday cake and then you can add like happy birthday Rupert as text over it or something? Right. So we have a thing called image tools where you can do that in HighLevel ultimately. Okay.
Oh, awesome. Okay. And we can put that into mailer or a website on a landing page. Amazing.
Email, whatever you like to, and I think that's a really undervalued tool, but it's like one of our range of tools that we have. So we have like dashboard tools, where you can put all custom data into dashboards, for example. So our tools range is something really fast, quick, and easy to pick up and start using. After that, we've actually taken the entirety of the GoHighLevel API and made individual apps for each collection of the APIs for HighLevel, and we just call them like CRM Plus apps. Now this just means that you can do things a lot quicker, a lot faster. You don't have to use the native actions from HighLevel. You can just use these ones where you have a lot more customization, a lot more capability, and you might not have to play by the rules that they're forcing to you on some of the default native actions on HighLevel.
I see.
And then ultimately after that, it's integrations galore, which really, I think the one that's
integration galore. Okay.
I'm just saying it's integrations, just integrations beyond integrations. But I think the main one that people like is Stripe. Okay. Like with the Stripe one, a lot of people use Stripe. We have a really fast way where you can basically just click 2 buttons and it's going to create a whole bunch of custom fields. And then every single time that somebody makes a purchase and you have a Stripe customer ID, it's going to go ahead and merge the contact, and you're going to have everything automatically just put in place. You don't need to create the workflow stuff or anything like that. We call these fast integrations, and that's what we've been really trying to push now is like our development into like, how do we take Marketplace even further? People love to make stuff with all the workflows, blah, blah. But ultimately, people just want this data merging with the data they have inside the CRM, and they just want to kind of like make that as fast as possible. So that's what we've kind of been focused into. And Stripe is, I think, one of the best integrations that everybody uses in HighLevel. So it's our most picked up one, and people should be aware of it. I mean, I was at the mastermind yesterday and there was somebody who was like, I can't do a thingamajig. And I was just like, use the Stripe app and it'll be done in 5 minutes.
Oh, I see. And do you also sync that Stripe with other bookkeeping software like QuickBooks?
I'm not sure if we've done a QuickBooks apps. I think that one already exists with HighLevel off the top of my head.
See. Okay.
But yeah, we've done a lot of apps. I mean, every day, if not every other day.
How you're balancing stuff, like, whenever you have one app or one, good app which is performing great out in GoHighLevel ecosystem, and then GoHighLevel come up with the same feature launching every year because they develop very fast as well. So how do you cope up and try to keep balance?
I try to be faster.
You try to be faster. Okay. I think they have a different vision,
which I think we've done, because I mean, like they've only done like maybe 150 actions. We've done over 4,000. So
amazing.
So like in the workflow builder, if we're just doing like silly numbers and all that kind of stuff, like we've done way widgets for the funnel builder. We've done way more add-ons than HighLevel has, but they do need to take care of their internal product infrastructure as well, which is different. But anyway,
you have worked with many GoHighLevel SaaS companies. Okay, what is one common thing you have seen behind their success?
Energy for sales, honestly. Like there's an active conversation for sales. That's all it comes down to. Like I'm thinking to you, like too many agencies like to complicate why somebody would buy from them instead of actually just trying to get the sale for ultimately what is not a complicated thing to understand. It's a GoHighLevel sub-account, and ultimately, those who really do well have a very strong message of the solution that they're providing. And I know way too many agencies that make way too much easy money from just selling reputation management, frankly. And not even just doing anything else in HighLevel. Okay, just asking the client, integrate your Google, do that, right? Which even they might even do because they'll use something maybe like Leadsy or some other things that makes that process a little bit simpler. They just make way too much money like that. So, I think too many agencies are like, oh, got to be creative, got to do loads of stuff. I mean, it is just sell as many accounts as you can.
Yes, that is
makes sense. The thing you want to kind of like focus on to. That is the SaaS game ultimately. I mean, some of the other agencies that I know that do really well, I mean, they sell much high value ticket things and they don't want to work with so many people, but limitation based around how many staff for you. And that's one of the other things I think that people might not really take on board is that, there are some really great people that are kind of freelance and they've reached their goal, maybe 10 to 30,000, something like that a month of just being single with maybe 1 or 2 VAs just helping to back them up. But then there are some people that they want hundreds, if not thousands accounts. They want, a big team of staff to manage it. And they're trying to go for, seven figures and stuff like that.
So I think, one needs to pick just one feature of GoHighLevel and then try to sell it and reach to some certain level and then find another thing which can be worked on to GoHighLevel. Makes sense. Okay, moving next, in every entrepreneur's journey, there is always a moment, when you think, okay, this might not work. This happened with me as well. Has it happened with you, and what helped you stick to the plan of, LevelUp Marketplace?
Sorry, what helped me stick to my plan?
Yes, sometimes we think, this is not going to work for us. I should do something else, because being an entrepreneur, you wander a lot, you try to do a lot of stuff, and then creating a focus is very important. In a nutshell, how do you precisely focus on one thing?
Well, we have our goals and our objectives of what we wanted to do. It's on our mission statement on LevelUp Marketplace. We have 3 different missions that we're trying to do. Our current mission is to get to 10 million installations, we're at a million. And I think, I'm just saying that if there's only a few KPIs that I really care about. One of them, the quantity of installations that we have going on.
Okay.
Because the more installations, the more apps are being used, the more apps are being installed, the more of everything's kind of going on. Outside of that, we are at the will of HighLevel in some sense. So we have to kind of give and take with how they're defining new rules, some of them which I'm helping to also create with partnership in the marketplace, ultimately. Some people have mixed opinions on some of these things as well. But I like hearing it in the comments. Some people like to try and rattle me. I find it funny. But, we just, our goals have not changed for 3 years. We want to try and do a billion executions to 200 million executions of our apps a month. We're trying to get 10 million installations. I have a certain, I think the only goals that change for us is just ultimately a sales thing, because how we want to try and make our sales inside of HighLevel and agencies to work with us and make a business out of it. I think they're the only things that we've ultimately had to change as the market changes with the marketplace growing ultimately.
Amazing. How can agencies grow faster using your apps, and what do you think is the future of GoHighLevel looks like?
Agencies can grow faster with apps. There's quite a lot of apps that can do things like Google scraping or lead grabbing. So you can go ahead and literally just start grabbing in potential leads and clients and Google accounts and making proposals and doing a lot of outreach in that kind of way. A lot of apps can also kind of help with brand authority and also ad as well, I would say, for an agency to be able to be focused purely on the selling of their SaaS.
What do you see the future of GoHighLevel looks like?
In what sense?
In terms of growth, in terms of retention, because, I've seen tools coming out there in the market. I'm into the CRM industry from last 15 years. I started working on Salesforce. HubSpot came in. They tried to eat up the Salesforce market, eating up, active campaign market and so on and so forth. Now GoHighLevel coming in, disrupting the market by giving sub-accounts. What do you see, where this will take us in the long run?
In the super long run, I kind of feel like agencies aren't going to be 100% necessary. I feel like a lot of people will start to re-navigate towards potentially the affiliate game, and there might be more of a GoHighLevel Pro, or maybe the directory will be more valuable, I think, as things kind of change with the market. Agencies do a lot more, but I think HighLevel will become a little bit more of the known brand, more than the white label conversation is, as been like a starting point for HighLevel in its journey, we'll say.
Right. Okay.
Some people have disagreements around this kind of conversation, but other features around HighLevel, the marketplace is going to change. But the marketplace, as it's kind of launched bit by bit, there's been micro marketplaces launched inside of HighLevel's marketplace. So there's the Action Triggers marketplace, there's the widgets marketplace, there's the scripts marketplace, there's the agency apps type, and there's all these different kind of mini marketplaces, the snapshot ones, there's the AI agent one as well. And there's all these little micro places. So there's only based on my conversations with HighLevel, 3 critical and 6 the general things that we would need to potentially look at making a lot more niche specific based applications. So one app that really helps real estate, and it uses all modules of an app build, which would mean a snap agent, action triggers, the page, potentially even scripts. And this really makes high-level accounts become their own thing, really,
Yes.
because high-level accounts are very basic as they come. You need a snapshot to maybe, make
it to next level.
but an app is all that and a bag of chips.
Yes.
Ultimately, I do see that the marketplace is going to maneuver its way over the next 2 years to a lot more niche-specific types of application, trying to bring together all the micro applications, we might call them, into a central situation. And I think that's going to be where the agencies are going to start to come from, really, is that they're going to focus on not so much the app provider, because it will come with the mixture of information, really, and education around it. But like, if I said I could give you an app that was all the things you need in the sub account for you to go ahead and make this sub account the best thing for real estate ever, but also this app is also going to provide you real estate leads in these areas and it's going to automatically sell itself.
Yeah.
That becomes a lot more of an interesting subject, I think, to those kind of people that want to look into supporting those sub accounts and creating a business out of working within partnerships with what applications I believe will become in the next 2 years.
Interesting. Makes sense. Cool. I mean, let's jump on to a rapid fire round. I have just 5 questions for you. You want to be as fast as possible. Good. The first one is one tool you don't love, but you still use.
I don't use any tools I don't love.
Okay. This one was the tricky one. Okay. Moving next. One book that changed how you think as a founder.
Stephen Bartlett's one. Can't remember the name of it.
I see. One app you check way too often.
Google Calendars.
One mistake every agency owner should avoid at all costs.
Exceeding their expectations that they deliver to the client.
Amazing. Describe yourself in just one single word.
Annoying.
I don't think so. Anyways, okay. I mean, great. Guys, here comes the moment you have been waiting for. Rupert is offering to the listeners 10% off on the lifetime deal for all the apps. You can use the coupon code Danish Podcast 10. With all the apps, agencies can replace multiple tools, sell unnecessary subscription, and unlock over 20,000 worth of white label resources. You get it, white label knowledge base, support videos and screenshots, FAQ, quizzes, checklist, client onboarding, launch tools, and a lot more. All the app is built to help agencies scale faster and support their clients better. The lifetime deal normally costs around $999, Rupert?
Yes.
Okay. You will get 10% off with the code Danish Podcast 10 at checkout. That's all. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you sharing your journey and, insights with us, to all the agency owners listening to this podcast.
When did you start with GoHighLevel?
I first attended GoHighLevel SaaSpreneur event earlier this year in February. Mm-hmm. That was the first time I got introduced with GoHighLevel. And we are partners for HubSpot from last 7-8 years. We are like one of their top tier partners. We are more focused on reselling CRM implementation, execution. And then when I came across GoHighLevel, how they have actually, disrupt the market by adding a sub accounts into the game. This actually, yes, the resell version. And then you can white label it, it's easy and it's, HubSpot. Compared to HubSpot and GoHighLevel, there is, of course, a product level difference out there, but the price point difference is huge.
Are you converting your clients over from HubSpot into GHL?
Not really. We are trying to find a different segment of audience for GHL because HubSpot audience is very sticky. They don't want to, jump from HubSpot to GoHighLevel unless they don't use more than 20% of the product onto HubSpot. We have seen some migrations happening from HubSpot to GoHighLevel as well in the past, but most of the clients still stick to HubSpot for one or the other reason.
Fair enough. Do you see what's your future for GoHighLevel then?
I think the future is bright for GoHighLevel because, it's actually enabling agencies to make money out here. We being an agency partner for HubSpot, we have a very limited commission for, limited amount of time. But in GoHighLevel, we don't have the upper limit. You can go and resell the product as much as you want, depending on what kind of an execution and, what kind of complication or what kind of a problem you are solving for your client. So there is no upper limit. I think that's the brighter side of GoHighLevel. But if you'll see, companies like on the mid-level market or the enterprise companies, they prefer to go with HubSpot because there is customization, which is to next level. And most of the things are controlled. So I don't know, it's going to be a good comparison here. It's like we are comparing iPhone versus Android phones, something like that. everyone has their own user base in place, Android, it's open source. You can do whatever you want to do. iPhone, it's, very entitled with what you want to do with it. Yes.
Fair enough.